Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. I do think Stipe is a nightmare matchup for Jon Jones, and I'm talking about that because that's clearly both of their next fight for each other. It's against each other. Here's the thing. The way Stipe fights, and I look at how Cormier fought Jones and the success he had up until he got knocked out or Jones was able to pull away in the first fight. Cormier was in his face a lot and gave him a lot of problems. Not problems in terms of danger, like, oh no, he's going to knock him out, but it clearly was something tough for him to work with. Stipe fights like that all the time. He's always in your face, too, unless you're Francis Ngannou. That's the case for anybody, unless they take him down. But, I mean, if you're able to take him down. But, Stipe, in my opinion, here's the thing. Jon Jones had a lot of success throughout his career, and I know the size advantage and all that, that doesn't take away from the fact that he beat those guys. He probably could have beat them if he was a heavyweight fighting against other heavyweights. But I do remember Jon Jones saying how he said, look, man, I'm a realist. I'd rather fight DC at light heavyweight than I would heavyweight. Now, I'm admitting I know he could still probably beat him at heavyweight, but it'd be a big advantage for Cormier because he's fought up there a lot in his career. And that gives the power advantage to Cormier than it would Jones. So I think Stipe has an advantage because of how he fights and how I've seen Jones struggle in fights. When Gustafsson gave him a hard time, Cormier was a challenge in both fights because they were in his face and they wouldn't stop. Stipe fights just like that. And Stipe's not a better wrestler than Jones by any means, but he's a really good wrestler, and I believe he could keep Jones from ragdolling him. I don't know why people think he's gonna get ragdolled. Stipe is a better fighter than anybody else Jones has fought. He proved that when he fought Cormier. He also proved when he fought Cormier, the only reason Cormier beat him at all was because of the eye post. Before the eye post, what was happening? Stipe was beating him. And he went on to beat him twice after that, so that validates my point. So the way Stipe fights, and here's the thing, Stipe's a smart fighter too, so he can adjust throughout the fight. And I just don't think, unless Jones can keep him at distance and just pick him apart for 5 rounds, I don't see him beating Stipe. I don't think he's going to ragdoll him because he's going to be about the same size, if not bigger than Jon Jones. I think he's going to be at no less than 250 or 260 in this fight. And here's the thing. Stipe is so smart when he fights. He's tough to deal with, and he's very tenacious. And he's good at sticking with a game plan. And he won't fight with emotion in this fight. He had plenty of chances to fight with emotion when he fought Cormier. Clearly, he didn't do that. So I don't think he's going to have that with Jones either. And I believe Jones, that's a disadvantage for Jon Jones. Fighting at heavyweight against a guy like Stipe is a disadvantage for Jones. You know, the rivalry not there is a disadvantage for Jones. Cormier gave him some fire when they fought, you know. Not to say Jones wouldn't have beat him still, but, you know, it still worked against Cormier. But I just think stylistically, the way Stipe fights and how he's giving people fits, and Jones has never been known to have one-punch knockout power anyway, and given that Stipe's proven he's willing to take you down, that works against Jon Jones. I mean, that's my opinion. So again, unless Jones keeps him at distance and is able to pick him apart, which I doubt will happen, I just believe Stipe is just not a better fighter necessarily, but I think he'll fight smarter to the point where Jones can't have his way with him, and he'll be able to pick him apart like he did with Cormier in the second fight they had, minus getting beat up like that. So that's my opinion. I don't think the fancy leg kicks, the thigh kicks, and all that other stuff is going to work against Stipe. Stipe is not going to give him a chance to breathe. He's going to be relentless. And I know Jones is a great fighter and all, but fighting Stipe, especially when Stipe is an underdog and he's fighting his best fight, is a whole nother animal. So I just don't think Jones is at an advantage at all fighting Stipe. That's my honest opinion. Again, he has to rely on not getting close to Stipe for 5 rounds. That's not going to happen. He has to also rely on his ability to take him down and ragdoll him. That's not happening. Sorry.